Forget the long-winded intro for this video. You want creamy roasted potatoes with a crunch so intense that eating them sounds like this? Well, listen up and follow along. Boil 2 cups of water on high and add 2 tablespoons of kosher salt and a half teaspoon of baking soda. Most tater noobs think that they can just dice up a hash and bite down on a pencil because I'm going in raw. But this bath will pre-cook my spuds entirely so I can achieve a soft, creamy interior before the oven is even preheated. I have here about 4 pounds of russet potatoes. Russet's the big brown icon that most people think of when they hear the word potato. Don't mess around with Yukon Gold, red, purple, fingerling, or anything else. These have been de-skinned and chunked out into big 2 or 3 inch nuggets because in the end they're gonna get a thick, gold-plated chitin. So if you dice them up too small, you'll be left with nothing but crunch with no room for fluff inside. So if your knife game is slow, let the nugs hang out in a bowl of water so the air doesn't turn them brown while you work. The pot is boiling, so I can dunk these in and cook them for about 10 minutes. There is a sweet spot that you are looking for. A fork should pierce them, but still provide just a little bit of resistance. If you take these too far, they'll turn to mush, so don't set it and forget it. This one feels good, so I'll strain the water out, and it's important to leave these alone for a few minutes. They're steaming hot, and steam is water. From this point forward, my goal is to drive the water off the surface of the potatoes entirely. So letting them hang out in schwitz for a couple minutes is easy money. While you wait, let's talk flavor. Potato flavor is fine, but on its own, it's kind of flat and starchy. If you don't already have some kind of flavorful fat like rendered chorizo fat, bacon grease, schmaltz, or duck fat, now would be a good time to gently warm some aromatics in a plain oil. Maybe try a garlic-infused olive oil with rosemary or thyme. Even though this whole video is kind of an exercise in texture primarily, pairing top shelf flavor to the crunch will yield a potato miles ahead of anything you can buy at any brunch racket. These are done letting off steam, and thanks to the baking soda bath, you can see that they have a sort of thin, bright, white, dehydrated exterior. So move them into a big bowl, add some form of flavorful fat liberally, maybe a few grinds of pepper and salt, depending on how they taste so far, and agitate them. That thin, dry exterior gets roughed up into a thick, almost pasty coating. Now you can sort of see how overboiling the potatoes could spell disaster for you. This is the kind of abuse that they have to hold up to. Throw these into a 450-degree oven and leave them alone for 20 minutes. It's gonna look like nothing is happening for a long while until the water inside the potatoes starts to dwindle. After 20 minutes, flip each chunk onto an unbrowned side and return it back into the oven. Repeat this process a couple of times until they're crisped all over. This will take at least 45 minutes. Now, just like my Brussels sprouts video, I expect some galaxy brain genius to point out the fact that you could easily just use a hot skillet and constant stirring to achieve the same effect. And while it is true, I guarantee that you will wish that you spent the past hour making more than 2 measly servings of God-tier potatoes. Serve these alongside any meal or as the star in chorizo potato tacos with tomatillo salsa and raw white onion. If you're the type of person who watches these videos for entertainment purposes alone, I've gotta say, this is the one that you should actually go out and cook. These potatoes are the best that you will ever make, and probably the best that you'll ever have. Moo moo.